with the strict scrutiny test, which is what the trial court used, you have to show that there's a compelling government interest in having this law and that it's narrowly tailored. So here the Supreme Court said, we don't have to use the strict scrutiny test. We're going to use the rational basis test. And under that law, under that kind of analysis, this law passes. And that's, as I said, the rational basis is a pretty easy test. Justice, during the oral arguments, there were a lot of questions, and a lot of the conservatives talked about how this was not a question for the court, this was a question for the lawmakers, and the lawmakers had decided this. And so the Chief Justice, in his opinion, in the last sentence, referred to that. He said, hold on, I'm looking for it. It's 118 pages. I don't know if I'll be able to find it at this point. He said that this case carries with it the weight of fierce scientific and policy debates about the safety, efficacy, and propriety of medical treatments. And so by the court's role is just to determine whether it violates the Equal Protection Clause. So we're leaving policy to the people, their elected representatives, and the democratic process. Justice Sotomayor wrote the dissent, and she was very heartfelt and concerned during the oral arguments about the fact that transgender people are about 1% of the population, and so the lawmakers who are making these laws, she said, are not considering them. They have no input, really.
They have no voice.
They have no voice.
So what law does this then leave in place?
So it leaves in place the Kentucky ban on gender-affirming care for minors, which other states have copied. And so...
But in reality, what does that mean? So if you're under 18, you are not allowed to take steps to change genders?
Right, exactly.
To transition, I should say?
It's a little bit of a complicated law, but any kind of gender-affirming care or affirming care for gender dysphoria is not allowed if you're under 18. So that even includes if your parents are on board with it. So it eliminates a lot of the treatments that are out there.
What are we still waiting from the Supreme Court on, June?
So we're still waiting for the birthright citizenship case, which is, by the way, not going to rule on whether the birthright citizenship executive order that Trump put forth is legal or not. It's going to rule on another issue about nationwide injunctions. And we're waiting on the age verification for porn websites from Texas. And let me see. We're also waiting on, I have a list here of the trans care. That was a big one that we were waiting for. The FCC's Universal Service Fund.